posted there in shifts. So a shift of 5 or 6 people replaced by another shift of 5 or 6 people.
Right.
And our job was to see who turned up, basically.
Right. Can we just rewind a little? Did you understand that the volume of photographs that were recovered from that flat or seized from that flat were, and you give a figure for it in your 2018 statement, 20,000?
That's what stuck in my memory.
Did you yourself see any of the
No.
imagery?
No.
But of course, in those days, and I'm going to ask you when those days were, we're not talking about digital imagery, we're talking about physical photographs.
That's correct, yes.
Can you year date this for us?
Well, we now believe it's 84, 85.
Right. And that's because you've been, what, sitting
Well, it's
in the
because I've
hearing
read
room?
the papers.
And
yeah,
the papers.
I mean, I thought it was in that patch there because I was on 2 different crime squads covering Ealing at the time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that fits.
Well, you joined the force in 1979. You became, as I understood you, a CI, or at least joined the CID, or
After this, yes.
after this. So what was your rank at the time?
I was a police constable.
Still a police, what,
Yeah.
uniform police constable?
Yes, that's correct.
Did you understand what the general remit of the part of the operation that you were indirectly involved with was?
Well, as I remember it, it was a rush job.
A rush job?
Really rush job. So we were called out at the last minute. My understanding was the arrest had taken place, large number of photographs. No one really knew what was going to happen. Are a lot of people going to turn up at the address to participate, to buy victims what? But the fact that it was, as I believe it anyway, was a weekend,
Yeah.
it would have cost them a lot of money because it would have been what we called a less than 8, so we get our rest day back, plus we get time and a half. They've abolished them nowadays.
Yeah.
At a time when overtime was in short supply. That shows the seriousness of it, or the seriousness of it, how it was taken. So that, yeah, it was to play it by, in a sense, to play it by ear.
Right.
As far as I remember, there was no documented written briefing of this is going to happen, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. What my memory is that we would go there and we'll see what happens, but people were going to get arrested, and we clearly expected quite a lot of people to come.
Let me come back to that. In addition to what you estimated to be 20,000 indecent images recovered.
Well, that was what I was taught. That's what I heard. That's what I remember.
All right. In this flat, did you also understand that seized from the address had been an address book?
Again, that's something I was told
By?
the detective in charge.
Yeah.
Because the things I remember him saying there was an address book, and it would have been photocopied, and it had names of lots of people in it.
Right. And the DC in charge, when he told you, as I understand your evidence, that there were the names of lots of people in it, what was the nature of the people, or some of the people, whose names, according to him, appeared in this book?
Well, we all... I don't know whether he'd actually read it
Yeah.
or not.
Well, let me...
But there was certainly the suggestion that there were powerful people in there.
Yeah. That's what I want to ask you. When you say the suggestion, where did you get that from? So somebody had obviously put in your head, because this isn't the first time you've said it, that powerful people, or the address book contained the names of powerful people. And if let's just look at what I'm looking at, which is your paragraph 4 of your 2018 statement behind tab 1. Do you see paragraph 4? At some stage during the operation, I was told that the photographer had an address book containing details of clients, and I believe the detective constable in charge mentioned that it contained the names of, quote, powerful people, unquote. I don't recall the exact words used, but it brought to my mind people in positions of authority and power. I didn't see the address book, and I wouldn't have expected to, and I was not told any specific names.
Yeah, that's correct, yes.
So, doing your best, you had understood from something you were told by the man in charge all those years ago that the address book contained names of powerful people.
Yeah.
But nothing more was said to you about it?
No.
By anyone?
No.
So you were left to your own imagination?
Well, it was
as to
just the
what
people in
powerful
the
meant.
flat talking, yeah. But
Right.
there was no names speculated on at all.
And as you say, you never saw the address book
No.
and wouldn't have expected in
No.
your position at the time to have
No.
done so. So wherever that address book has gone, you never saw it.
No.
Now, as you said, this was a rush job. You and some other officers were posted at the flat in order to arrest anyone who turned up, and the idea was, if they did, you would take them to the police station and discover their role.
Yes.
And that's what you say in your paragraph 5, I think it is. But no one did.
No.
And you were stationed there, you thought it was a weekend, so what, on the Saturday?
Well, definitely there was Saturday, and when I came back on the Sunday, I think that's when the bloke from the flat above came down.
Yeah. So the only person who did turn up was somebody else who lived in the building,
That's what I was told.
and you understood that he had some connection to a newspaper.
He was well, again, what I was told was he was a deputy editor. He had 2 children
Yeah.
who he allowed to visit the downstairs flat, which, you know, we all thought was very strange,
Yeah.
because certainly I wouldn't have allowed my kids to, knowing that the person downstairs was a paedophile.
Yeah.
And he was the only person, and he was let go.
Right. So putting him to one side because it appears he lived in the building, no one else turned up.
No.
And you say in your paragraph 6 of your 2018 statement that you and the other officers felt that this was unusual because there was a lot of us, we had expected people to attend the flat.
Yes.
Had you been given any briefing about what was anticipated in terms of numbers? I mean, did anybody say we're expecting lots of men to turn up,
No.
or were you told we just don't know, just be
I
there?
can't remember that. I mean, what you can go on is the fact that there were so many of us in such a small place says that we were expecting a lot of people to turn up. I mean, you know, normally you'd have a couple of officers doing a job together, but to have basically 3 teams,
Yeah.
plus another 3 teams coming on later on, is a lot.
No. And it was because of the numbers that you assumed a few people, a few men should be turning up to this flat.
Yes, we definitely had high expectations that there would be lots of work for us.
And any men that would arrive were there, what, to buy photographs, presumably?
Well, we
in
didn't
those
know
days?
what.
Right. So you were there all of that Saturday, presumably, and how long would the shift have been?
I think it was about 12 hours.
12-hour shift, with the same other, what, 5 or 6 other
Yes.
officers? And if we're right and it was a weekend and the next day was a Sunday,
Yes.
did you return to the flat?
Yes.